What's our favorite time? Last time it told me to pick my favorite time. I don't really have a favorite time. Your hair looks awfully curly today. Were you involved in that? Did you give him product?
Well, he took my extra long hairband and then put it on his head, and then it pushed all his hair to the back.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So he's doing a new
favorite time?
evolution.
All of his face.
1
1
p.m. or 1 a.m.
Alright.
So, yep.
We'll do... We'll do 1... Darn. Why did it do me like that?
It was before anime, it was my favorite show. And back in middle school. Yeah, I'm not caught up.
135.
Is it one of those, like, every single episode is different, or is it, like, the storyline?
Yes and no.
Bro, look, it remembered. It remembered.
It's like a slight storyline, but like most episodes are different.
Okay.
So if you didn't know background, I'll let you know.
Alright.
No, I did not set the time correctly.
Yes, I was just watching it and kind of.
Man, my brother's gonna be like, why don't you give my number 1 her login, bro? Actually, I gotta convince him to make sure that we stay with AT&T because he was saying how he wants to change the plan or something like that.
Not collect data.
Are you feeling light? Or am I extra strong today?
Data on you. Shouldn't be too
You
hard.
feel lighter than usual.
Yeah, let me whip a couple of ones up. Should be right. Next time you boot up again.
TikTok. The benefits of having a TikTok.
You. TikTok girl.
Do you guys want to turn the lights off?
I don't mind. I don't really care.
Okay.
You can turn it off if you want, if it makes it easier.
I know. I think it would be like it would set the tone for the game. I'll turn on some side lights to make it so it's not super dark, not too dark. Okay, that's too crazy bright. My bad for the language. Too bright.
So basically, I have all these notes.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Gosh.
All of this.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what button.
Yeah, no, I'm skipping that. Alright. Where'd the balloons go? Oh no, they're back. Never mind. Never mind.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh no, I don't think I want the bucket. I think I'm gonna leave the bucket.
You good?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Alright. Oh my gosh. I think I missed one already. There won't be. Okay, I totally read that. Alright.
He's the smartest on the universe.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What if there's a Stanley down here? Oh, I was right.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands?
Totally.
Stanley figs. Or what about Stanleries? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Awesome. Yeah, nope. Nope.
Yes.
Not
but the
today.
show is, it's much more complicated than that.
I don't doubt that I'll find them all.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Watched all of it, or is this like where you're at?
But incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
There's Stanley here.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I wish I would take the first Stanley Parable. But no.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
What if there's a Stanley in there?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't think so. Ah. It's only my 10th time doing this.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Fire.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
I was looking directly at mine by chance. Oh. I keep thinking I can jump, and I cannot.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, there's two things I could do. I could press off and kind of win. I could press on. I'm tired. I'm gonna press on. Did I win? Did I win? I like this
Blackness
music.
and a rising chill of uncertainty.
I am uncertain.
Was it over?
Maybe.
Seeing this like
Yes! He had won. He had defeated the machine. unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
No, he's
Where
gonna
had
say,
his
I
co-workers
don't really
gone?
care. And he's
How
pretty
had he
right.
been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But
Stanley
as
realized he
sunlight
didn't
streamed
care.
into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
I can't not step through the door.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new
Where am
path
I?
before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
No, I think I'm about to be back in the office. Nah. Nah. I think I need the bucket again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
That's the voice of the bucket?
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all
Yeah.
the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Why, I didn't. I actually didn't. I think I might have found danger everywhere. Okay. I'm a little scared. But I have the bucket. So I may be okay. What doors and
No,
shit?
stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
I think I know what a
I
bucket
suppose
is, dude.
that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent
Oh my
on your
gosh.
understanding of what is and isn't a
Don't give me a
bucket.
lecture.
Please, step in here for a moment.
Oh gosh. I really don't want to do this. Oh my gosh.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a
What?
bucket, not an actual bucket.
How did I know that?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
How am I getting these right?
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Why the hell is there music? The way that it rattled showed that it had weight. So I'd like to say yes. But I'm gonna say no.
Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item
Oh
4.
yeah.
Is this a bucket?
It's a big bucket.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yeah, it still looks like a bucket to me.
Correct.
What?
This is a bucket. Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
I want to leave. I can't leave.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Waiting for mine to disappear. Yeah.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
Bro, what?
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Oh my gosh. I see a ton of buckets. Spaz out.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let me remember what I did last time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nar.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Law school.
Is it a show?
That's a movie. And then the guy
Oh,
she
shoot.
breaks up with Al and is like
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think,
No.
Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Her LSAT score was almost perfect. And then she gets to Harvard. At Harvard, she sees that as it turns out. Sorry, do you want to play the So then, as it turns out, at Harvard, he already had a girlfriend. And the girl was like a brunette, like white girl. So it was kind of like, he actually said this thing, my family wants a Jackie, not a Marilyn. You get it? Like Jackie Kennedy instead of Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna.
What? What is that? This is. Oh gosh, I came from there.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun from so far off
The guy, he got
that it seemed the office had
You
begun.
didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do.
Yes.
Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
No way. No way.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Get
Stanley
more stuff
decided to
done.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe what I placed on last time, and then now that I don't have the bucket, it'll be
When
good.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No,
The
I'm
lounge
still.
was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew
That's a new
it was
thing.
something deeper, something darker.
No, I don't think so. I think it's the coffee.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, Here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
I think I was
Really
coffee.
worth it.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I feel like this could continue forever. I never get to all the doors. How would I possibly get up there? This is crazy.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Making a circle.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
No. I don't like this, bro.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
A Figler and Marine.
Here. Yes.
What on
Oh,
earth?
it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
No, that's why you want to give him the poop so he can shit his guts out and see that.
Trippy. Very trippy.
Rick, did you take the Tapatio?
No, wait. Where are you going?
Away.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Delivery of the day, 900 more to go.
Loser ass. Dream. What type of dream was that?
I'm not ready to climb something this sheer. Look, you're the guy that wanted an epic adventure. I'm the guy with only one hover chair. An alien spider just bit my finger. An alien cliff. You could just say spider. You couldn't do that an hour ago?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Activate the insert movie suit.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
What happens if I go down? Only way to go forward is to jump off though.
Total waste of stakes. If you want to take a beat to acknowledge the sacred atmosphere, it could give the cynical grave robbing a hint of a reverence. No, I'm good. Alright then, let's loot this corpse. Hey, where's the... Wait, what?
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Have you seen
Putting a crew together at Fort...
Have you seen
I cannot promise that.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. Are you... You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Oh, Money Heist, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the English name, but yeah. You watched it? This show's about, it's like a parody. This episode, parody.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you?
It's not worth our
I
time
like
because...
watched a couple episodes.
That next piece of shit. Fuck, I'm gonna kill him. Let's go, Morty.
Whee!
No!
Dipshit.
Oh, thank God.
What on earth?
You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me.
I'm moving
I can't go back to
forward.
what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Whee!
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Stealing knows about the stuff, not the stealing. Where is the interest? Oh, brother.
Move slower.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
How much is it to get in?
If you want professional
I just think it's the only way to go forward, dude.
Or we can sneak in like professionals. Oh, for God's sake. And you wonder why we aren't fans. Let that ointment sit for 10 minutes
Yes.
or you'll die.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Yes, man. Fuck you for asking, Morty. That would be a symbolic expression of support.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
14.
Rick Sanchez, you son of a bitch. Need some people for a thing, Clark. My name's Clear these days. I play piano. Hey, Clear. Play your
No,
piano.
perhaps not.
Quit.
I'm almost done, I swear. I just gotta kill myself. I'm walking slow, I've thrown myself off this platform 3 times. No, twice.
Nobody's hiring an ex-con.
Only one more time to go.
Eye on engine.
Suppose I had a job that didn't care if you've got time or whatever's going on with your confusing ass hands. This the guy? No. That the guy?
Maybe
Bruh.
you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Thanks for doing this, guys.
What's the job?
That was it. Bye.
Oh, why am I moving so slow?
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
How about a rhetorical one from someone that had to be reminded that you exist? That's not the question line.
Alright, I'm giving one, Zach.
That's